Hello, I am Mary Mazur. This is Change Your Funk to Fun. Today's talk is why finding my sacred way transformed my life. Oh, yes, I get to share my story today. And may I inspire you, each one of you who are listening today, so that you may find your sacred way and that you may actually activate, connect with it, and let it lead you and let it open up new doorways for you, new opportunities for you, new ways of being for you. And that's the gift that I am here to offer for you today. Yes, 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 yes. Woo! So one, I'm very grateful I found my sacred way. And then some may ask, okay, so what is the sacred way? Great question. Thank you for asking that. And even the chimes went off. Oh, and I'll share with you what I believe the sacred way is, and then what my spirit team that does talk through me, the Council of Light, is here with us today, and Archangel Raphael, and they love to speak through me too. And my spirit name is Mahana, so we have a whole collective here actually with ascended masters and archangels. That's for sure. Yeah, 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 yeah. So the sacred way is your way home to your heart, your way home to connect with the true essence of who you are. Because at the highest level or at the most expanded level, you are divinity consciousness in your own unique way here as your own individual self here. Yes, as if you can imagine, you are a sun ray of the sun or a water droplet of the ocean. And some may even say you actually are in that one droplet, the whole ocean. Woo, because even the sun ray is the emittance of the sun. And all of us agreed when we came here to earth and be born as a brand new baby here to forget all that. Yes, we did. And to agree to have a bit of disconnection or an illusion of separation. Or what that may mean is that you forgot who you are. Yes, you did. And it's pretty much the game here. So I'm going to invite you to allow yourself to open up your curiosity window within yourself to just imagine a lot of things today. So we're going to be helping you with imagining things, becoming curious, be actually inviting you to be quite innovative and childlike, innocent. And in doing that, we are going to be identifying even the chaotic things that are in the world or the things that seem very disorganized or terrible or horrible, all of those things, disconnected things. And then you are going to be able to activate within you your innovation giftings, your creativity of how you can spin it and help yourself activate where you can grow into it becoming like a playground, like it being fun. And that's the gift of changing your funk to fun. Because the K at the end of funk is the key, and the key is to remove it so that you can actually unlock and then allow yourself to have fun here. And that's the gift of the sacred way. The gift of the sacred way is to let yourself become childlike again, let yourself. Uh, Experience as if you are in this radiant essence of like a child. Because each of us, when we were children, did have that time. Even if you had a really hard childhood or a lot of fear or traumas or disorganized things, uh, hmm, may you also have experienced some love and some support and some wonder and some amazing experiences too. Many of us actually aren't even able to even bring up a lot of those memories. Most of us will easily bring up the traumas or the hard times or the difficult times. And that's just because we are wired to survive and to live here and not die until the time we're supposed to go. so so yeah, with that, it's almost like a survival mechanism. And the gift comes in is that we can transmute that stuff. And your sacred way is going to be able to help you with that. My sacred way has helped me with that greatly. And in doing that, then you can begin to remember again. So we're even just going to have you, if you're open to this, and if you're not driving a car or doing something that you have to do mechanical, allow yourself to close your eyes And we're going to take 3 cleansing breaths. A nice breath in your nose, a full breath in your nose. Holding it gently at the top of your breath. Blowing it out your mouth gently. 2 more times. Deep breath in your nose. Holding gently. And another breath in your nose. Holding gently. I'm going to invite you actually to connect into your upper heart chamber. Just imagine you have this beautiful heart, just like a heart shape. Upper left chamber is your feminine side. Your right chamber is your masculine side. We're going to invite you into your upper hemisphere of your feminine side, where your infinite possibilities lie, your feelings, your emotions, your connection with your divinity. And just you get to do this. You get to imagine this is actually one way that you get to actually connect in with your sacred way. One of the gateways for that. And you get to use your imagination. So that's the gift that we have here. We get to be curious and we get to imagine. So allow yourself, and I'm doing it with you. So that's why my eyes are kind of half open, half closed. Ooh. So connect in and let yourself connect back to your younger years when you were a little child, and see how early you can get to in those times, of the good times, of the playful times, of the joyful times, of the peace, of the fun, and the freedom times. Yeah. And if you have siblings, maybe you were playing with your siblings, or one of your parents or caregivers, of being so loved. Let yourself come up with a memory, a positive memory, maybe one of your favorite memories as a little child. Uh, hmm. For me, I have 11 siblings, so I have a lot of siblings to play with and stuff. And for me, I loved being out. I love being outside now today too, but especially as a child, love being outside, love being in nature. I love creating. I loved creating like little huts, or little secret spots, or little cool magical places and things like that. And playing with friends. I always love playing with friends that are just really cool and love to be creative. And yeah, collecting rocks and collecting stones and collecting parts in the earth. So bring up for you, like what allow yourself. This is actually one way that you can connect in with your sacred way, is by bringing up positive memories that you have chosen to experience here. And let yourself actually feel it, because it was an experience of you connecting in with your divinity, you connecting with the love of who you are and the light of who you are, and fully enjoying your experience here as an earthling. So let yourself connect in with that. And when you can do that, you can actually like allow yourself to let that expand in your heart, and just say, yes, I did have some really good memories as a child, where I was allowed to be free and be playful and be innocent and curious. And to just be in the present moment and just experience, and to be your natural, true self of just who you are. Yeah. And when you have that, let yourself connect into that. You can even put your hands on your heart if that's helpful for you. Ooh, yeah. And let yourself have that and experience that, and let that be a gift for yourself. And then we'll talk about this a little bit later, where you get to bring that back at any time in your life as an adult, as you are, working with let's say, the business that you are running, or the workplace that you're in, or with your family and with your friends, things like that. We're going to help you begin to connect with your sacred way, and to stay connected with your sacred way, and allow yourself to live more in your love, instead of fear or shame or guilt or worry, or just closing off or blocked, or even disconnecting from your emotions or your true essence of who you are. So all of this is in your free will choice, and courage is your gateway. So courage and willingness, which means you get to just decide to do this. And with this talk, which is here helpful for you, is so that you can let yourself know that you can do this. And it will require you to open up some time for yourself. And you can even, let one of your friends listen to this talk too. And you can allow yourself to allow yourself to open up time and maybe even create an activity where you and your friends can get together and say, hey, how about we get together and we actually share about what are the fun things that have happened in our lives? What are the good things? Where are all the little good pieces of all the things that you have experienced navigating in throughout your life and your world? Most of us focus on what's not working, what doesn't feel right, what you're frustrated about or challenged by, or many things will drop in. I know for my own self, before I found my sacred way, I definitely felt like there was something wrong with me, and that I wasn't good enough. So those were like the two challenging templates that I agreed to experience as a human here, based on the experiences I had growing up and the influences I got from my parents and society. So it's really great if you can ask yourself, what is like a template? What is basically it's a belief system or a template or a way of being that you would love to change and clear now, like this, like letting go of like, I'm not good enough, or there's something wrong with me. Oh, isn't that wonderful when we can release it, let it go, and replace it? Say, yes, I am good enough, and I am, and there's nothing wrong with me, which means I am made in divine uh, perfection and order as my unique self, because we're meant to be unique here. We're meant to not be like anybody else. You're actually meant to be exactly how you are in what comes from your heart's desire. So that's the sacred way, is living and connecting with your true essence of who you are, by what feels right, and by making choices and doing, even when they're very difficult choices and hard choices. And I'll be giving some examples of that, of what I've gone through, of making some very difficult, hard choices, and that you can have the courage and the willingness to do that by listening to your heart and by allowing yourself to be true to yourself. And the gift is when you do, you're going to be in time grateful for that, and you'll appreciate. And when you can open up to see the blessings that come because of those very difficult decisions that you chose to make, then you are choosing to live in your sacred way, which is your divine way. It's the true essence of who you are, and nobody can take it away. Nobody can harm you or hurt you or prevent you from you finding your sacred way, from you accessing your true essence within yourself. You're activating your personal power within you, and speaking your truth, sharing your truth and your love, and then go become the co-creator of the things that bring you excitement and joy, and and the gifts of where you would love to give to the world and experience and challenge yourself, and allow yourself to show yourself that you are the co-creator of your life. So what a gift, that we're inviting you here to find your sacred way. And even so one of the requirements is that you will need to open up some time for yourself, and it could even just be even 10 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day. Where can you do that in your calendar? That's like the first question to ask yourself. Could it be the morning time that you can do that, or mid-afternoon or lunchtime if you're working? Maybe even just 15 minutes. Like, I'm going to give myself 15 minutes to connect in with myself, or maybe in the evening or before you go to bed. But we are habit creatures, and it's really important and vital to make sure that we open that up for ourselves. Ooh, so why finding my sacred way transform my life? Why? Because it's like everything. Finding your sacred way is everything. And when you recognize that, your whole life will be. Yeah, because the sacred way is the true love, the true essence of really what everybody's looking for in their lives right now. And many people will actually use alcohol or weed or or even psychedelics and many other things, to help them access those parts of ourselves that we think, to even just feeling great, or feeling happier or higher, or just feeling really, really, really good, right? Although sometimes those can turn into either addictions or actually blocks from actually connecting into your sacred way. There's a time for everything. Even plant medicines are amazing because they can definitely help assist you with awareness and raising yourself to what you are what you're ready for, that you want. But and the whole point is to lead you to your sacred way. That's the gift. Okay. So anything that actually you use right now, just question it. Okay, because if you're not able to actually access that without those, that's actually the bigger question. So what's blocking you or preventing you from feeling in that great way, or that maybe more comfortable, freer, more relaxed way, things like that? Aha. Well, we would recommend that's probably a limiting belief, or a trauma or an experience that you have gone through, where at the subconscious level of the mind you blocked parts of your heart off. And for many people will then go operate from the mind. And the mind is a very helpful operating tool. It's just we are not meant to just only be in the mind. We're actually meant to live from our heart center and our emotions to what feels right, and then use our minds to help greatly assist us with the creativity, with bringing in, how we want to experience things, how we want to live, how we want to share ourselves, our true essence. Yes. So super huge. And so what we recommend is, with finding your sacred way. For my own self, I'll tell my story that I used to be a birth nurse, and for 2.5 decades, I helped moms have babies and absolutely loved it, doing the night shifting, and then raising my 4 kids on during the day. And then at the time I was married, and my husband at the time was diagnosed with leukemia, so he got sick at 45 years old. And his story is that his dad died at 50, the month he turned 50, and his sister died the month she turned 50, complications of cancer. And so, at a subconscious level, his system thought he was going to check out just like they did, because the world and society was teaching, and even science was teaching, oh, that genes control everything, and that, hey, if it's got it in your family, you might get it too. So it was all this fear energy and programming that kept people in patterns and families in patterns for a very long time. Dr. Bruce Lipton is an amazing cell biologist, and I'm forever grateful for him, because once my former husband got sick, his book showed up at my workplace within a year of his illness, The Biology of Belief book. And in that book literally transformed my life and literally helped me find my sacred way. So I'm forever grateful for Dr. Bruce Lipton and his gift and his courage and his willingness to share what the cells that he researched and used and worked with taught him. The human cells taught him what he's teaching now about epigenetics. So it is actually not true that your genes control everything. No, not at all. Genes, yes, are patterns that we agreed to have from our ancestry that could have the potential of something like a disease that your family might be yeah, continuing to repeat that pattern in. The gift is that it's actually your response to your environment of whether you actually have that experience or not, which means you do have control and you do have choices to make, and you can actually change those things. So instead of my former husband dying at 50 like his dad and sister, he actually just turned 60 last year. Yes, he did. Because within that year, I was on a definitely a journey to help assist him. And then in the gift of it is that Bruce Lipton's book, he spoke at the end of his book about this beautiful transformational tool called PSYCH-K. So PSYCH-K helps you use your mind, your spirit, your soul to help yourself unlock your personal power, and to change any limiting beliefs, or change anything that is limiting you or creating dis-ease or satisfaction in your life, or disharmony, anything that is disconnecting you from your sacred way, back to your sacred way. Yes. So I did go to the workshop, and then we do recommend, this is something that we're being called to do, is important to find tools that can help us with our ascension that we're all being called to go through right now. We are being called to elevate our level of consciousness, to elevate our level of awareness, to change our ways, to let go of that survival mechanism that we were all born into in the 20th century, and to heal the wounds, the traumas, the issues that we have, and to admit, yeah, I've had some wounds. Yeah, I had some dysfunctional aspects in my family. Even my own self, I was programmed that I had this perfect family that I lived in, because I love my mom. My mom's flipping awesome, by the way. But for me, my dad was quite interesting. Excellent man, had a lot of great values and core stuff, but yet he also had a lot of trauma too within his own self. Sexual trauma when he was younger, And then he went to Vietnam, and then that affected him greatly, where he came back drinking super heavily. So I was raised with a parent that was, it was very unpredictable with the alcohol. He didn't remember a lot of, beating us up, or chasing us, or using all the fear tactics. And each of us have our stories. Each of us have our experiences that we went through. And the whole gift is that you can access and find your sacred way within you, which is your true essence, your true love and light and wisdom. You actually are brilliant. You actually are geniuses. Each one of us are in our own unique way, even though we weren't taught that either. And then you get to access that and connect that. It all comes in your readiness. Are you ready? Are you ready to say, are you at the level in your life where you're like, you know what, I'm really sick of feeling stuck, or I'm really sick of this, or I'm really tired of this, or something has to change? That is the gift. So actually, when crappy things happen, challenging things happen, they're actually here for us, believe it or not. Believe it or not. I've had actually quite challenging things happen this year. So even with finding your sacred way, and yes, connecting in deeply in my heart and my love of who I am, there's still kind of goofy things that are happening for me. And I am able, because I did learn Psych-K, and you'll find the right tool for you. There are many tools out there, so find the right one that's right for you. And if Psych-K can be one that could be in your toolbox of your mastery tools, it's actually a very highly recommended thing to have and use. That's for sure. Or even working with a facilitator who is a Psych-K facilitator like myself, that you can have get support from somebody. But yes, having a tool allows you a way that you can make the changes, because it's one thing to say, hey, I don't like the stuff that's going on in my life. Like I want to make some changes. For so many people, it is like, maybe you don't like your job, and you really are just not happy in your situation, or the energy's not good, or you're just not, ugh, but you still have to show up, because you got to pay the bills, you got to take care of your family, but you're not very happy in what you're doing. That's actually a gift for you, because you get to decide, wow, and let yourself use your power of imagination and creativity to say, hey, if I could do something else, what would that be? What could bring me joy? Many of us don't even spend much time on with that, because many of us are disconnected from our sacred way. And we've just been programmed to be human. We've been programmed to just what everyone else thinks you're supposed to be, almost like you're putting on these different masks, or being a certain way to be, to feel like you're included or loved or wanted. Many of us in our inner child parts of us, or like the wounded parts, like, yeah, don't feel accepted or loved or wanted, or just being good, just being who you are. And those are like the core pieces that we do help people with using Psych-K. And my friend Sabine and I are going to be creating an online class for your sacred way, for even going even beyond Psych-K, where you get to work directly with your heart, and centers in your body, activate specific centers in your body that help assist you greatly with releasing the old and embodying the new way of being, and to fully embody being in your body, allowing, inviting your spirit part of you to live in your body, and to live on here on earth with you, to access and find your sacred way within you, so that you get to live and be your true self here. And it is one of the most precious gifts you can give yourself. Yeah. So one of the hard, difficult things that I did, which was important with my transformations of learning Psych-K, and I was able to heal those parts of my lack of worthiness, and thought something was wrong with me, or I wasn't good enough. So I cleared those energies of that guilt and that shame and the fears, and then I embodied my new way of being. So with Psych-K, you get to actually embody your new way of being, and then your sacred way template that Sabine and I are creating, and we'll be talking more about that as that gets closer to the online launching, that you get to find useful tools that can help you rectify those old ways and help yourself connect into your new way, because that's why we live during this time. This lifetime is all about transformation. It's all about change, and all about remembering again, connecting again, and back to your true love, back to what excites you, back to that innocence, the innovation and the innocence. And this is the gift that we're gonna keep offering for you and welcoming you to it. And then it is in your free will choice. You're the one that has to say, yes, you know what? I am ready. I'm ready to come learn that. I'm coming to that workshop, or I'm ready to receive a private session. I'm ready to make the changes. When you are, you get to make the changes. And why finding my sacred way transformed my life? Yes, because I found myself again. Yes, my true essence, who I really am. And it is a life journey. It's a life discovery. Because actually, when you do actually open and connect into your heart and let yourself live by making choices by what feels right, you will be amazed the changes that are going to be happening in your life. It really literally is that simple. That simple. And if it does seem difficult or does seem hard, that's why it is beautiful to have useful tools to help you, like PSYCH-K or like breath work or like, people do some plant medicines, yoga, uh, having a great friends support team, that is super helpful for you. These are all important. Having a supportive community, a supportive, loving community, someone you can share your ideas with. So I have a couple girlfriends that I am so grateful, a few of my girlfriends that I'm so grateful when I can share when things are challenging, when things are very difficult, and to have true friends that can hold sacred space for you. Because when you access your sacred way, you're going to magnetize that. You're going to magnetize the friends that also are finding their sacred way too. And then we get to actually connect in with our spiritual community. And that's what we're meant to be doing now. We basically have a spiritual family here, a spiritual community. They may not even be your biological family or the typical friends that you've been hanging out with. So you're going to need to ask yourself, hey, if you're hanging out with people that are just crabby, or if they're just complaining or just negative energy, dense, blah, 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 blah. Whew, so how's that going for you? How do you feel? And if you don't like it, it's time to start making changes. And you can love people from afar, you can have boundaries, and you deserve to be treated well. You deserve to be honored and adored and loved and respected. And the gift comes in is that when you find your sacred way, you're going to be able to do that for yourself. And that's the most important, is to do it for yourself first. And I'm still working with myself on this. It comes in levels, it comes in layers, as if we're like an onion, right? And I used to be very self-critical with myself. I was judgmental. And that's just how I was raised. That perfectionist mentality. My father was had a super high bar, basically for himself and for all of us. And it meant well, because then we did work hard. We did achieve a lot. The hard part, though, is then when we're almost too hard on ourselves. And if you're being too hard on yourself, that's something to check out. Because and then let yourself stop, and then connect with a friend, which is huge. Or if you, at the end of the show, I'll show how you can get a hold of me. Having a psyche session is super helpful, because you can actually access parts within you of those programs. Maybe that I'm not worthy, or that there's something wrong with me. I'm not good enough, or I can't. Maybe it's just this frozenness where you're not even able to think you can even do things, stuff like that. So the gift is your subconscious mind has recorded everything of all the experiences that you've had, and all the interpretations of the filters of what you created as a meaning or a definition about yourself and about your life. And you get to change these. You get to change these definitions, these meanings. And I know even for myself, my spirit is helping me work with just even letting go of that, of having to have a meaning or having to have this important purpose for every little thing that's going on. I'm learning how to just be more curious and just open and just say, okay, isn't that interesting? And allowing to just be what is, you know? So, like, for example, I actually had a spiritual attack, which I've never had before. I don't even know if that was even really true to even have, but that did happen. I connected with this energy worker that, in talking with her, and a timeline opened up that I wasn't aware of within myself, in an Atlantean age, I guess I had lived in, and I didn't think I ever lived in that time frame. And then there was like uh, reptilians overtook the Atlanteans by about 12,000, 13,000 years ago. And there was basically like a war and overtaking. And I was a man at that time. And basically my face got all messed up. Well, that timeline popped in. And then here, I got like a thing on my face. Like this whole eruption happened this past week, which was really crazy. And my whole system like shut down for like 2 days. I even passed out twice. I went through like this really wonky, weird, I call weird, unexplained things that happened to me. And supposedly there was some type of attempt of a curse or negative energy attempting to do something, to harm me. And the gift is with the work that I've done and being able to find my sacred way is I wasn't afraid of any of it. I actually felt safe. I felt supported. I felt loved. And I knew that my body heals and that I'm going to use it for good. So, and the gift of what it brought me is that I was actually able to tap into that old timeline. And the reason it came pulled into this timeline was to complete that karmic circuit for me to forgive. So I had more work within myself to open my heart again, to forgive for the negative energies that were that did the harmful stuff then, and are attempting to still do here. That we are all helping to assist with Archangel Michael to remove off this planet. Thank goodness, and that this time is done now. There is no more harm to be done, no more self-interest only ways of living. We're all being called. Whatever you do for yourself and you do for all, which means whatever you do is good for you and good for others. And as best that we can live in that way, we are going to naturally come in as a unity consciousness, a community, a loving, harmonious way of the Aquarian age. And we are cascading right into that right now. This last few months, I'm not an astrologist at all, but I do love astrology, and I have an astrologist that helps me, which I greatly love. Sandy Reeves, she's amazing. Highly recommend looking her up, Sandy Reeves in Chicago. That supposedly Pluto, I guess, is in Capricorn right now for the last 3 months up until November 19th, which is basically a death and rebirth of those old constructs, those old hierarchies of, like, let's say the patriarch overtaking the matriarch, where that's all done. It's going to be all done by the end of November. Yay! So that the feminine within us, the matriarch, is completely equalized, and the feminine, the matriarch is going to be leading again for the next 1,000 years. Yay! So it's the women time. And the masculine are awesome. We actually have masculine and feminine within us. It's just there's been a bit of conflicting, disharmony. A lot of harm, a lot of betrayal, a lot of yucky stuff that all needs to get cleaned up right now within our own self, within our own experiences that we've had or we've witnessed, had, or even maybe done. So to forgive yourself, to forgive others, to let it go. We literally can let this go and to begin again in a new way of loving each other again, loving our own selves again. That is actually how you find your sacred way, is to give yourself permission to love yourself again, to let go of hating any aspect of yourself or anyone else. And instead, yes, there is important to have boundaries and say no. And there'll be people that may leave your life, or you may need to leave your job and things like that. I did that in 2017, where I ended my nursing career and then stepped into the entrepreneur world. And it can be scary and nutty, and you're, what are you going to do? And just trust yourself. Take the leap. Listen to your heart. Do what you meant to do, what feels right. And then you can even do things side by side. Like I became a PSYCH-K instructor. There's about 30 of us around the world that do teach this beautiful spiritual transformational process for change. That for like a year and a half, I was still helping moms have babies at night on the weekends, and then also being this little entrepreneur part that I was still growing with. So you can do both. You can figure it out. It doesn't have to be hard or difficult anymore. You actually can have it turn into a flow. We're also letting go of the lack scarcity energy. And I know I'm definitely still working through that one, where sometimes we don't think we have enough, or fear of not having enough. Those are super huge, important things for us to let go of, and to end and to complete, and welcome the abundance. We are abundant beings. Mother Nature is abundant. And the more we can be creative, this is more of the bartering that we're going to be doing and sharing of stuff, maybe living in communities together of cohabitating in beautiful, loving ways. We're creating a new world here, a new way of being. And it can become easier when we can be there for each other and support each other, instead of being our own separate individual selves and trying to accumulate a whole bunch of stuff, right? How about we can kind of let the stuff go? How about we can share the things that we have? And even here, I'm at my girlfriend's house right now because my Wi-Fi doesn't work very well where I live in the woods. So how neat is that? She's letting me share her home so I can speak to all of you and you guys can see me clearly here. So this is what we get to do to help each other and support each other and love each other. So letting ourselves open up to this creativity, The gift comes in is deciding to want to find your sacred way, and let yourself just say, yeah, you know what? I do want to find my sacred way. I want to know what that is and how that can be, because the gift is you get to expand in it throughout your whole lifetime, because your sacred way is the sweet spot of the love of who you are, that excitement, that complete freedom, that liberation, that yes, I get to be who I choose to be, who I am, and I get to discover who that is. And I get to share that and be that. And I don't have to be like anyone else. No, not at all. I get to just do what feels right. Yeah, and live by what feels right. And this is the gift of how we're going to be reconstructing our new ways of living, where hopefully in a short time our governments will collapse and will create new harmonious ways of living. There's a whole beautiful permaculture movement happening. I'm going to an Arkansas festival next weekend, Omnum, OMNUM, Num Festival in Arkansas. Alex Pop is the one that's leading that with his friend, and find the permaculture or the food forest with Jim Gale. He's in Florida. These are the new movements now. Let us go grow our own food on our own land. Let's go share it with our neighbors. Let's go live in a beautiful, harmonious, connected community way. And how we're able to do it is by finding our sacred way within our own selves that leads us and guides us. Because it is in that leading, when you're doing what feels right, when you're living from your love, from your knowingness, from your truth, instead of from fear or disconnection. Because fear and disconnection was the old way. And it was just because it was survival land. And yeah, 20th century was an interesting, century. That's for sure. We are in the 21st century now, the Aquarian age. Yes. These are actually the best times to be living right now. And we highly recommend turn off that television, turn off that news. It is a television, right? They are sending out programs. And how do you feel when you're connected in that way? And how is that going for you? I know for many, they feel like they have to find the answers that way. You might want to question it and just test it out. Test it for like a week. How about we do no TV or even no electronics? Give yourself a break from the electronics. Nowadays, you can see people are on their phones like almost all the time. And you're like, what is going on? What happened to us, right? How about we put the phones down? How about we look into each other's eyes, connect in our hearts, listen to each other, hold that sacred space. I live in an area where people vacation. Actually, it's like a campground, and it's where I'm staying for about 7 months out of the year. And I love it. Where the neighbors are just so beautiful because people are relaxed, because it is a break from their normal weekly day time, and they get to just sit and chat and play some cornhole, and and cook together and share stories and be a support for each other, truly loving each other. This is what we're being called to do. And you can do this. You can live. You can begin living in this way. It's one day at a time, one breath at a time. And you get a right to live in this way. Why finding my sacred way transform my life? Ooh, so you can find your sacred way so you can transform your life. Yes, yes, yes. So this is the invitation for you is, would you love to transform your life in a more positive, expansive, free way? Because you can, and you get to. You can change any aspect in your life within you that your heart desires to the best level that you're able to and that you would love to. And at least you can go for it. That's the biggest one. So one, let yourself dream again. Let yourself cast some visions about how you would love your life to be. Connect into those times when you were younger or throughout your life that were the good times, even the challenging times that you learned and grew through. Where have you learned? Any hardships or things you've gone through, what did you learn through that? Those are the key questions you can ask yourself. And then give yourself permission and say, yes, I do want to find my sacred way within me to fully connect into the divinity of who I am, to embody that, to blossom that, to be the I am presence here of the love and the light, and to share your gifts with the world. This is the invitation and the gift for you. And you get to do it. You really get to do it. Yes, you do. And I am here to help be a spiritual connector and a spiritual guide for those that would love some assistance. You are your own spiritual guru, and you're meant to be your own spiritual mentor. And you may have felt like you need to look for somebody who can help you, and that's totally great and fine. I did too. I had mentors that helped me greatly, especially with the Psych-K journey, and I'm forever grateful for them. And then now I'm at a place where my spiritual mentors are from the spirit world, like literally. And then I have been able to, and I just recently cleared some things because I was putting those mentors on a pedestal, and that wasn't helping me at all. So that even with that, I was able to make those changes within myself with the gift of Psyche and your sacred way that Sabine and I are using to clear those old programs and to let myself remind myself, and this is for the invitation for you to remind yourself that you are equal, you are divine, you are important, and you are necessary here and vital, really vital for who you are and how you're meant to share your love and your gifts with the world. And we welcome you for that. So, any blocks to that, any resistance to any of this is the gift that I get to help people with, is that I get to help you access your sacred way within you, and that you can embody that and grow that and experience your and open up your spiritual channels, open up your spiritual gifts. My spiritual gifts have opened up greatly, and it kind of freaked me out. It was back in, like, it's been gradual, but definitely over since 2014, 2015, and definitely 2017 and more. And now it becomes very comfortable. And you can do this too, where the ones that are meant to, where we can. And if you would like to explore it, play with it, welcome it in, you can do this. So if you'd love to get a hold of me, my website is igniteandhealyourlife.com. Igniteandhealyourlife.com. I do offer one-on-one sessions. You can click services for that. And then I also offer workshops. So I am teaching Psyche workshops right now. In September, I'll be teaching in Tennessee, September 20th weekend, and then September 27th is in Kentucky. And then in Indiana, October 11th weekend, I'll be in Indiana. And then the first weekend of November is in Florida. And then keep listening to my podcast, because Sabine and I are putting together a beautiful online course for finding your sacred way. This is exactly what the course is about. So that's why this talk is here for that. And yes, you can definitely learn Psych-K, because it's a complementary, beautiful tool, a massively important tool. And there's even more, because you can expand even more with your heart and with activating centers within you that are very vital, that the Council of Light and Archangel Raphael are assisting with to offer for you, all those that are ready for that. So then you can, activate your spiritual gifts within yourself, activate your sacred way, so that you get to live the true love of who you are. Let go of the lack, scarcity, let go of any fears or guilts or sorrows, shames, things like that. And you get to do this, and you get to live vibrantly, live full with energy, live in the playful, the innovative and innocent way that you're meant to be. This is your gift for you. This lifetime is for you, and for you to explore who you are and let yourself grow and create, and to do what brings you joy, and to share that with others. And when you can do that, you're such a gift for the world. So it's been enjoyed speaking with you today, and you know how to get a hold of me, and we wish you a very blessed day. I am Mary Mazur. This is Change Your Funk to Fun. Have a fantastic day. Oh.